Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today joining us for the series where we're delving into the second-hand market to look at the very best buys in 2025. And in today's video we're going to be focusing on the most forgiving irons under £200. If you're new to the series, last week we were looking at the best value drivers under £100, and honestly I could not believe what we found. There's a few comments actually from some subscribers from last week. We've got Wayne saying he's loving the series. Frank saying that Cleveland can't be overlooked when you're looking for good quality second-hand equipment. And you're right, Frank, but in that budget I couldn't find a decent Cleveland. A lot of people, Aussie golfer, saying XR16 still a great driver. He had it 8 years in the bag, he's only just upgraded it. A lot of people saying that they used the Callaway XR16. I think I had a comment from Rory. He said, very informative. Guys, why didn't you buy the Epic driver? Well, I've got a confession to make, Rory. I have been back on and I found an Epic driver, and you'll not believe what I found. I found it a TC stamped. I'll put this up on screen now. TC stamp means it's come off the tour van. It's not been on general sale. It was specifically made for a tour player. And I picked it up for £100. So we're going to be using that product to test against, obviously, some of the newer drivers on the market. Obviously, for a little bit of fun as well. I think you've set us off to a great idea. We all this archive of second-hand equipment. We've got to build a bag and play with somewhere, haven't we? So I think by the end of this series, we should be able to make some videos on the most forgiving set on a budget, you know, the highest performing set on a budget. We'll be able to make some different bags up, obviously play and challenge some people to a match. I know there'll be a few people who'd be fancying me to challenge, but we could get on the road, obviously. That's the idea of this year anyway, since we're full-time. But let's not keep the new guys waiting. If you're tuning in to find out what my most forgiving irons, and this video's only been recorded 48 hours ago, so if you're tuning in straight away, these items will still be on eBay for sale, I would imagine. So we've got 7 items on the list, and the first one is a really oldie but goodie set for somebody on a budget. You're not going to be able to just go straight on eBay and probably find a set of these. It's one where you might have to put it, you know, save the search so you get notified when this becomes available. But the McGregor V-Foil 455s, these were a full-size cavity iron. They're quite a few years old now, but this is when McGregor used to make the most premium products. Now, they still make good value product. They make product more budget now, but at this stage McGregor were making very premium forged equipment, and you can pick these up now for, you know, round about £80 to £150. What I would say is, if you're looking for the oldie but goodie sets, check a few things. Shaft pitting, make sure they've not been left damp and there's pitting. Make sure all the badges are in the back, because some of these badges are not just cosmetic, they're actually swing weights as well. And just general condition at grips, you know, and heads, to make sure, you know, they've not been trashed. Especially if you're buying graphite as well, just make sure there's no shaft pitting and stuff. But moving on, I think that's the oldest ones in this lineup. But I've tried to put these in some sort of order. Now, I think if you're looking for a full cavity set on a budget, if you find any of these in really good condition, they're definitely worth considering. But in 6th place, I've got the Nike SQ Sumo irons. In the full cavities, unlike most Nike irons, the full cavities aren't holding much value. You'll notice that a lot of forged equipment from Nike is like just rocketed since they've stopped making clubs. But the cast stuff, the SQ Sumo, and these were really forgiving irons. I remember trying these at the time, you know, and they just used to launch up so steep and go miles, you know, they were really easy to hit. You can get these, there's a set on there now for £189, and the pearlers, you know, obviously somebody's probably bought them and not played a great deal of golf with them. Under £200, I think they'd be a great, you know, set of forgiving irons. We then move into, and the only reason these haven't gone higher in the list, it's the Cobra Fly XL, which tick all the boxes, you know, they're in price. There's a set on there now, £161.99. Full cavities. Obviously not even that old either. So these are only a few years old. I think they're 2022. So, you know, they're going to be new and shiny, not had a lot of wear and tear. But a lot of brands now are making like more budget entry level stuff, even though they've got the big names, the PXGs, the Callaways, they're making these like less premium products for the newer golfers. And this would fall into that category really. I wouldn't class it as being Cobra's like premium equipment. So that's why when we get to the top of the list, these are clubs that might be a few years older, but they may have been, well, they were like £1,000 or they were £1,100, £1,200 when they came out. So that premium product, which is where I would prefer you to go. I think like the Cobra XL's lovely iron, definitely do you a job, be nice and easy to it, look great in bag. But would they wear for next? How are they going to wear it next 5 years? The badger's going to fall out. Shaft's going to break. They're just using slightly cheaper components, but they will do you a job, and they had to be on the list because they're in our price range and great product. Which then leads us on to the Callaway X Hot. These again weren't Callaway's ultimate premium product, but they did sit a little bit more expensive than the Cobra, which I think Cobra now, I think you can get them for like $249, $269 brand new. And I think they probably were about £300 when they came out. The Callaways would have been around about £449, and that's when the premium product were probably like £1,000. So again, it's a great full-size iron, full-size cavity, be easy to launch, easy to hit, and you can get them for like £142. So, definitely not one to overlook. I've done a lot of research, so this list took me hours to comprise, to be quite honest. So if £200 is your budget, I can assure you, you're not going to find a better cavity that's on this list. And if get in the comments, guys, if you've got any suggestions, if you want to have a little nosy on eBay yourself, and see if you can find better cavity irons than these, I'd love to hear it. And I'll obviously pin them as well, if I've missed anything. But we move on then. These next three I think are absolute gems for the money. And you can get some really oldie but goodie stuff here. I'll always recommend Ping, the G series. It's the game improvement range from Ping. You can just about get the G15 irons, and we've got a set on eBay at $151.99 at the minute. But it all depends on sort of like where you want to go condition wise. If you want to spend £100, you could probably get a set, or you could spend a bit more and spend like £180, £200. Or you go into the G20 model and then sort of not get quite as good a quality set. Well, I think in the G series irons, the cosmetically always seem to make them look a little bit better. Finishes change, but performance-wise, they don't change a great deal. So I'd be tempted to sort of maybe drop back a year and get a really oldie but goodie set, rather than sort of trying to get the latest model you can and it have not been well looked after. But I thought, I did look at some G20s, and for sort of £199 you could probably sneak a set, but you're sacrificing, condition, and I won't want you to buy like a set. I mean, all these in this category under £199, they're not just like a battered set. I'm trying to get you a set that will last you a long time. So I'm sure I could have picked you a newer model out from somewhere, but it was just battered, shaft pitting, grips were trashed. So it is a good list. There's been a lot of thought go into it. This next model, I can't believe, actually, I'm tempted to buy them, right? If these aren't gone by the end of today, I'm going to buy them. It's the Yonex E-Zone XPGs. I don't know if this guy's lost it. He's got them up at £130. Buy it now. And there's a couple of other sets on there, and they're like £200 to £250. So I just don't know what this guy's thinking, because they're absolute pearlers. They're in amazing condition. I'm so tempted to buy them. If I were building that most forgiving set on a budget, I think they would go in the bag. And the only reason they're not number one on today's list is that there's just not enough sets. They're very rare. Yonex is like a very premium brand, but it's not. You can't just go and buy it from anywhere, can you? There's only so many stockists, and I thought if I put it at number one, there's not going to be enough to go around, kind of thing. But no, number one. I'm a massive fan of this brand for quality. They've made quality clubs year on year for many years. They don't often get it wrong. And it's the Titleist, it's the AP1714. The AP1 obviously being there, a bit like today's T300, their most forgiving iron at the time. And you know, condition-wise, you can get a beautiful set for under £200. If you're looking at sort of like, there's a set on there at 195 at the minute, the absolute pearlers. And again, we could have probably snuck a 716, you know, newer model, but they'd be battered, grips would need changing, you know, badges would look tatty. So I think if you look for the 714 set, and again, a bit like Ping, they don't change much in performance, you know, over generations. I think they found kind of a design that works, and they only very fractionally tweak them. So you could get a great set of Titleist AP1 714s, well within your budget, or under £200. That were a bit of a quick fire. My favourite or best value full cavity irons under £200. You know, that's from all my experience as a PGA professional. I've worked in golf industry for over 20 years, selling and buying second-hand clubs. You know, for anybody that already watches the channel, you know, I'm an absolute golf pervert. I love buying second-hand clubs. I've probably got the best gaming set in the world, but I still like to dabble in buying and selling second-hand clubs for fun. And I can't wait to receive that Callaway driver, actually. I'm so excited. I've spent £100 on a new driver, and I can't believe how excited I am. I'm already thinking in my mind, like, shall I take it to Sam and get him to, like, obviously hit some balls with it and test it, but then get him to tune it up and put my Ventus shaft in it? It's crazy. I don't know what I'm thinking. I think I'm losing it sometimes. But guys, hope you're enjoying this series. Obviously, if you're in the market to buy some new tools this year, you know, I'm going to be sharing all my knowledge. I've also shared a couple of videos, if you're new tuning in, of clubs that I wouldn't buy, where they've had sort of design issues, they've had recalls, and you know, obviously now there's no warranty. I'd hate for you to get stung on any of them. Oh yeah, and just to mention it, we're in the office, the new office. It's looking drab at minute, so there's nothing on the back wall here, although I am partnering with a brand called Hyper Creative, who are doing me a really nice sign for that back wall. So that's a real bonus. And we're going to get some shelving on here as well. Try and get all this awesome memorabilia on back wall. Sort of thinking, wouldn't mind a couple of pictures on there. Maybe get me heroes. I've got Tiger in mind. I don't know, maybe Eric Cantona. And I'm not sure who else I could put up there, but a few probably childhood heroes. So I'm thinking of getting some wall art, so it should start to look a little bit better in here. I need to get another chair as well. I was thinking, like, what am I going to do if I want to do a bit of a podcast, or, you know, me and, you know, want to talk about something with James or Dan or one of my friends. So I'm going to get another chair. And yeah, that's a bit of an update from me. I've also, final point, I booked a golf trip for not 2025, 2026. I'm doing a golf trip to Slaley Hall. It won't cost a fortune, but it's going to run over and coincide with the Masters. So I love going away for Masters. So we're going to play 18 holes on the Sunday, get back in, have some, you know, dinner or whatever, and watch the Masters. And then we obviously play golf on the Monday as well. So it's a Sunday driver, basically, a Sunday saver, which I'll be sharing more information about that. I'll stick a link in the description. I've got a travel page on Facebook, so go and follow that if you're interested in a UK travel breaks, or, you know, you want to come abroad with us at some point. But yeah, looking forward to playing some golf. I'm definitely playing golf next week, so I know we've done a lot of videos indoors, fitting and these sort of vlogs, but weather's just taking a turn for better in UK, and I'm honestly cannot wait to get out and play. So guys, have a great weekend, and we'll see you at the same time next week. And we'll see what else I bought. Bye.